know, there are a couple of things I want to mention, though. Since you mentioned the whole, the Republican Democrat Party voting and stuff like that, that wonderful thing we're supposed to be doing. I was told a while back that if you vote on the right side of the Republican Party or anything else like that you can't possibly be a good person. That seems to bug me a little bit because there was something that was told to me years ago was do the right thing even when no one's watching.
Yeah. Yep.
And a lot of us, most of us, live our life that way. But what I don't get is how exactly does one's character have to do with their voting. That's another one of those things I just don't understand. I don't understand how, well, if you have a difference in opinion, then therefore you're a bad person. I respectfully disagree. I've got friends that are Democrats. I got one friend that's a progressive. He's hilarious, but we never see eye to eye. But you know what? Me and him will go face to face. We'll go nose to nose, almost to blows. 5 minutes later, hey, let's go get a beer. That's the way it should be, but that's not the way that they're projecting it nowadays. They want you to be split apart. They don't want you to get along. They just don't want you to be together. And I think that's something that we need to change. But he mentioned the Second Amendment, so I guess I'm going to say a couple things about that, obviously, because I'm the one walking around with an awful firearm on my side. In case you guys noticed. But apparently, according to our president, what I'm carrying around is basically a 14-round tactical nuke. Because what he said over the news was, this tiny little thing right here will blow the lung outside your body. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I've done ballistics tests. I've shot a 50 cal point blank at ballistics gel, and it didn't even do that. So. But yeah, the 9mm apparently is, I guess I'm carrying around tactical nuclear weapons, and that's why they want to ban them. And of course, they also told me that my rifle shoots 5 times faster than anything else out there. Well, I called Federal Firearms and told them I wanted a refund on all my ammunition. I'm like, why? Is it because it's not supersonic? I mean, I was just told by the President of the United States that shoots 5 times faster than anything I've ever fired. The guy just started laughing. This was an actual conversation. The guy was laughing on the phone. He goes, well, which ones did you get? Did you get the Super 93s or the XM93s? Well, XM, but you just bought the wrong ones. He's like, we got a special Biden edition for these rounds. But who knows about HR 1808?
Yes.
Apparently the guy that wrote it, which is no different than any of the other people who seem to write gun bills, they have no idea what they're talking about. I'll just refer to him as Sissy Weenie because that's pretty much what we call him. He seems to think that, well, the pistol brace that particularly one of my friends actually uses because he was in combat, his arm was injured, he has a hard time holding his firearm. He thinks that is a bump stock. We're letting this guy make these bills, and he thinks that's the bump stock. He thinks that the guard that's on my rifle to keep me from, I don't know, getting third-degree burns for holding the rifle is an attachment that makes some of our rifles undead. And when's the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not in the 1920s or the 1930s anymore. When's the last time you saw a gangster running down the road with a Thompson submachine gun? Yes, they banned those in the third, back then. And in that bill, we're like, well, that's considered a submachine gun. So we're going to ban this. Excuse me, sir, but it's not. It's semi-automatic, which they don't understand either. After all, we did have I was told it was how do we have an Army general that uses the phrase full semi-automatic? Has anybody ever seen this on a rifle? Just just a question. I mean, was he an administrative? Did he ever see his firearm? Because it doesn't work that way. We don't have those. We have semi-automatics. We don't have automatics. Well, especially not in this state. Besides, if you even wanted one, did you know if you wanted to even get out of state, you have to get a tax stamp or whatever. But the rifle, let's say you just wanted a simple entry-level M16.
Yeah.
Who's going to spend $7,000 on an M16?
The Army.
Anybody but us. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I would have brought the printout with me. I would read 1808 because it's hilarious. But these are the people that are supposed to be telling us what we can and can't do. At least that's what they claim. You know, Randy mentioned accountability, so how are we going to take care of that one? Because the state of Illinois is also doing the same thing. I brought up the federal bill. This is the lovely state of Illinois here is trying to do the exact same thing. They already, in one town, banned the sale of ARs and AKs and anything that they consider scary.
Excuse me.
I don't think that's going to stick, but you know, then you got our illustrious governor, who I refer to as a completely different name. I apologize, I call him Governor Gravy Sweats. Governor. Well, I call him that for a specific reason because I was 10 feet from him one day when they were doing the whole health thing, and I yelled out with my big mouth, "I don't think I'm going to take healthcare advice from a man who wheezes when he walks." And he turned and stared at me. What? It's true. This was at the state fair, you know, a while back. And coincidentally, he was going to go meet. I guess he was going to go see the butter cow. Personally, I think he was going to eat ass first, but that's me. I just think that's how he is. But he's also thinking about how to do these gun bans, and he's basically taking the federal model and putting it on steroids. He's listening to California trying to figure out what they did, and it's just the bill is not out yet. I guess it's still in committee. But it's coming soon, and it's just a carbon copy of what the federal bill is. So we got to watch out for that. We got to make sure that they know that we're not going to take that, you know, laying down either. I mean, it was hard enough to get conceal and carry, and there's things that still need to be changed about that. We have no castle doctrine. We basically have no stand your ground law, so there's no protections. If somebody's to walk through that door right now, they actually believe that I should turn my back on the assailant and go the other way. How many of you are going to look at a guy that has a firearm in his hand and go, you know, I'm just going to turn my back around this way?
No.
No. I'm going to perforate that person. I'm going to stomp his guts out right at that door because it's either me or him. And in this case, it's all of you as well. We still have no protections for that. If we do that, if something happens, if somebody came through that door and I was in that situation where I had to take care of business, you know, they can still, even though I'm legally licensed to carry, they can still put me in jail.
That's true. You worry about the legalities later.
Yep.
Your life first.
Yep, I'd rather be judged by 12 and carried by 6. All right, Raylan, who we got up next?
Yeah, he's on his way.
Oh, he's already running. Okay.
Thanks. Speaking of the governor was on an airplane.
Did it get off the ground?
And, they were 30,000 feet. And the pilot says, "I'm sorry, we're going to be an hour late to our destination because one of the engines went out." And so there was some grumbling. And then a half hour later, the pilot said, "I'm sorry, we're going to be 2 hours late because our second engine went out." There was some grumbling. And the pilot came on and said, "I'm sorry, our third engine went out. We're going to be 4 hours late." And Governor Pritzker said, "If that last engine goes out, we're going to be up here all night." But some of the stuff, I'm the lobbyist for Illinois Family Institute in Springfield, and some of the stuff that they pass on the Senate floor, on the House floor, you can't make up. You just can't make up. And so I made a little list of things that we're fed up with in Illinois. We're fed up with 100,000 people leaving Illinois each year, our sons and daughters and grandparents following them. We're fed up with high taxes that make citizens work paycheck to paycheck to line the pockets of Mike Madigan and the political class. We're fed up with the corruption that defines Illinois and makes it hard for citizens to live here. And we're fed up with the good jobs and plans going to our neighbor states because Illinois regulates and taxes them out of business. Iowa and Indiana are doing great. And in fact, I was just talking to the Iowa governor last week. She was up at some event and she said, I shouldn't be saying this, but keep doing what you're doing because you're sending a lot of good workers my way. We're fed up with media censorship covering up or attacking conservative ideas or solutions for problems, but promoting the left's woke solutions. We're fed up with a billionaire governor telling us that mask mandates weren't that bad. They were that bad. It wrecked businesses and families and our children. We're fed up that Illinois is ending bail for murderers so they can go back into the neighborhoods and terrorize our citizens again. We're fed up with politicians not backing the blue that protect us ordinary citizens from criminals. We're fed up with allowing men to compete in our women's sports and pretending they're not. We're fed up with putting tampons in boys' bathrooms and adults teaching our children they can invent their own pronouns that don't make sense. This is all in Illinois. We're fed up with a new mandate to teach kindergartners the lie that there's more than two genders, which is being taught this fall. We're fed up with a new public school mandate this fall to teach fifth graders that boys can become girls and girls can become boys with puberty and hormone blockers, when of course they can't. This is state-sponsored child abuse. We're fed up with a far-left woke agenda that's creating a teacher shortage because teachers quit rather than teach the woke radical agenda. So I'll just end right there. But all of those things are happening in Illinois, many of them in the Chicagoland area. I mean, I could point out examples in the Chicagoland area, but it's very sad, and it's things that were passed legislatively by the General Assembly, creating policies that are just the opposite of common sense. So, elections matter. So thanks for taking my time, and thanks for having me here. And